Have you ever noticed that things just don't hit the same anymore? The movies, the games, the music, the late night talks, even the things you used to love. It's not that you're sad exactly. It's not that anything is terribly wrong, but somehow, life feels flat, muted, like the color has been drained out of it. You scroll for hours but feel nothing. You go out but feel disconnected. You try to get excited about something new, and it fades within minutes, and then the worst thought creeps in: what's wrong with me? If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Today we're going to talk about why nothing feels fun or exciting anymore, what's actually happening in your brain and your life, and how to slowly bring that spark back, because this isn't random, and you're not broken. Let's get into it. The feeling no one talks about here's a very specific type of emptiness that's hard to explain. It's not dramatic. It's not loud. It's not even always painful. It's just dull. You wake up and feel neutral. You go through the day on autopilot. You laugh when you're supposed to. You function, but inside, nothing feels deeply enjoyable. And here's what makes it worse: you remember when things used to feel different, when music gave you chills, when you couldn't wait for the weekend, when a small crush could make your entire week exciting, when even simple things felt meaningful. Now, everything feels predictable, and predictable feels boring. And boring slowly turns into emptiness. This experience has a name in psychology: anhedonia. Anhedonia is the reduced ability to feel pleasure. It doesn't mean you can't function. It doesn't even always mean you're depressed. It just means your brain's reward system isn't lighting up the way it used to. But why? Let's break it down. Your brain is exhausted. One major reason nothing feels exciting anymore is simple: your nervous system is tired, not just physically tired, emotionally tired, mentally overloaded. Modern life constantly demands stimulation: notifications, work, deadlines, family expectations, social comparison, news. Short-form content, pressure to improve yourself, pressure to succeed, pressure to look happy. Your brain was not built for this constant input. So what does it do when it gets overwhelmed? It protects you, and one of the ways it protects you is by dulling your emotional responses. Think of it like turning down the volume on everything. The problem: it doesn't just turn down anxiety and stress. It turns down joy too. You don't feel as stressed, but you also don't feel as excited. You don't feel as anxious, but you also don't feel as passionate. Your brain isn't broken. It's conserving energy. Dopamine overload. Let's talk about dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical associated with motivation and reward. It's what makes you anticipate pleasure. It's what makes things feel exciting. But here's the catch: dopamine isn't designed for constant high spikes. And what do we have now? Endless scrolling, instant entertainment, infinite short videos, gaming marathons, fast food, constant novelty. Your brain is getting micro hits of dopamine all day long. At first, it feels great, but over time, your brain adapts. It raises the threshold. Now normal life feels boring by comparison. Reading a book too slow, going for a walk not stimulating enough, having a conversation doesn't compete with algorithmic entertainment. Your brain gets trained to expect constant excitement. So when real life doesn't match that intensity, it feels empty. This doesn't mean you need to quit everything and live in the woods, but it does mean your stimulation level might be out of balance. Sometimes nothing feels fun because your brain forgot how to enjoy slow rewards. Burnout without realizing it. Here's something most people miss: you can be burned out without hating your life. Burnout doesn't always look like collapsing from exhaustion. Sometimes it looks like low enthusiasm, low curiosity, low emotional range, feeling like everything is effort. You might still be functioning, still working, still socializing, but inside, you're drained. Burnout happens when your output exceeds your recovery for too long. If you're always producing, always improving, always pushing, and rarely resting deeply, your brain eventually says, enough. And it shuts down non-essential emotions. Excitement is not essential for survival. So it goes first. Routine without novelty. Humans need novelty, not chaos, not drama, but novelty. Your brain lights up when it encounters something new. A new place. A new challenge. A new idea. A new connection. But if your days are identical, wake up, phone, work or school, phone, eat, phone, sleep, the brain stops paying attention. Because it already knows what's coming. No anticipation equals no dopamine spike. No dopamine spike equals no excitement. Sometimes nothing feels fun simply because nothing is new, and the solution isn't a massive life overhaul. It might be a new route home. A new skill. A new hobby. A new environment. A new conversation topic. Small novelty can wake your brain up again. Emotional suppression. Here's a deeper layer. Sometimes nothing feels exciting because you're suppressing something. When you avoid feeling pain, you often numb joy too. If you've been ignoring disappointment, avoiding grief, suppressing anger, burying fear, your brain may go into emotional shutdown mode. It's like installing a filter over your entire emotional system. The filter doesn't only block negative emotions. It blocks everything. Ask yourself honestly, is there something unresolved in your life? Something you're pretending doesn't bother you, something you haven't processed, because unprocessed emotions take energy, and that energy often gets stolen from joy. You outgrew your old sources of excitement. This one is uncomfortable. What if nothing feels exciting because you changed? The things that once made you happy were tied to who you were at that time, but people evolve, your interests shift, your values shift, your priorities shift, and sometimes we cling to old hobbies or environments hoping they'll make us feel the same way again, but they don't, and that can feel like loss. Sometimes the boredom isn't emptiness. It's transition. You might be between versions of yourself. The old things don't light you up anymore, but you haven't discovered the new ones yet. That in-between phase feels hollow, but it's not permanent, mild or hidden. Depression. We have to talk about this honestly. Sometimes nothing feels fun because you're experiencing depression, not dramatic movie-style depression, but subtle, high-functioning depression. Signs might include low energy, reduced interest, changes in sleep, difficulty concentrating, feeling disconnected, irritability. Instead of sadness, depression doesn't always scream, sometimes it whispers. If this feeling has lasted more than a few weeks, if it's affecting your relationships or performance, if you feel hopeless or numb most days, please consider speaking to a therapist or doctor. There is no weakness in getting help. Your brain is an organ, and sometimes organs need support. The identity crisis. Nobody expects. There's another layer most people don't consider. Excitement is often tied to identity. When you know who you are, when you know what you're building, when you know what you care about, life feels directional. But when you lose clarity about who you are, everything feels aimless, and aimless feels dull. If you don't know what you're working toward, nothing feels meaningful, and if nothing feels meaningful, nothing feels exciting. Sometimes the problem isn't pleasure. It's purpose. How to start feeling AGAIN. Now let's talk about rebuilding that spark, not overnight, not dramatically, but gradually. Step 1. Lower stimulation for a week. Reduce short-form content, limit mindless scrolling, allow boredom. The first few days will feel uncomfortable. That's normal, your brain is recalibrating. Step 2. Reintroduce slow rewards. Reading, walking, journaling, deep conversations, working on a long-term project. These don't give instant hits, they build sustainable dopamine. Step 3. Move your body. Daily exercise isn't just physical. It regulates mood chemicals, even 15 minutes matters. Step 4. Add one small novelty. Try something slightly new. It doesn't have to be life-changing, just different. Step 5. Feel something fully instead of distracting yourself when uncomfortable emotions arise. Sit with them. Name them. Joy returns more easily when emotions aren't suppressed. Step 6. Talk honestly to someone. Isolation amplifies numbness, connection reactivates emotional systems. What not to do when nothing feels exciting. The temptation is to spend more money, chase bigger thrills, enter dramatic relationships, make impulsive decisions, radically change your life overnight. But intensity is not the same as fulfillment. Excitement built on chaos fades quickly. You don't need extreme stimulation, you need regulation. You don't need to blow up your life. You need to rebalance it. The truth about excitement: here's something nobody tells you: constant excitement is not normal. Life naturally has waves, highs, calm periods, transitions. Social media makes it look like everyone is constantly inspired, passionate, thriving. That's not real. Much of adulthood is quiet progress, much of growth is subtle. Excitement isn't meant to be permanent. It's meant to visit. If you expect fireworks daily, you'll feel disappointed constantly. Sometimes peace feels boring. But peace is not emptiness. It's stability. And stability creates space for real joy to grow again. If nothing feels fun right now, it doesn't mean it never will again. It might mean you're tired. You're overstimulated. You're suppressing something. You're evolving. You need support. This phrase is not your identity. It's a signal. Listen to it gently, not with panic, not with self-criticism, but with curiosity. Your excitement didn't disappear. It's waiting for conditions that feel safe, balanced, and meaningful again. And you can rebuild that slowly. If this video resonated with you, comment the word reset. It helps the algorithm, and it lets other people know they're not alone. And if you're in this phase right now, be patient with yourself. You're not broken. You're recalibrating.